Let's start off with just a basic knot to join two lines, the blood knot. And I'm doing it this way because I want you to see what it looks like if you're tying it and see how my fingers operate. And I'm using fly line so that this is distinct and you can see which one is doing what. Get distinct colors. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I want to give myself two tag ends. Now, when you're doing a blood knot, a standard blood knot, what you really want to do is make sure that you're doing the same number of wraps on each side, right? So I'm going to sort of demonstrate what that kind of looks like. For purposes of this demonstration, because this is thick fly line, I'm only going to do 4 wraps. But typically you do between 5 and 7 depending on the thickness of the line. If you're doing a bonefish leader, typically you're doing 7 wraps. But the first wrap doesn't start until it's all the way back around like so. So I would be going like 1, 2. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna do 4 like that. And then I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. You can see sort of how like my fingers are pulling on it. I'm gonna take the tag in there and put it through this little V and hold it. Now I'm sure that there's a simpler way out there to do this, but this is just how I do it. I'm gonna pinch those together in my hand, so now I have 1/2 of the knot, and now I'm gonna do the other one, wrapping in the same direction. I'm not gonna go the opposite way. I want to make sure that I'm continuing to wrap so this looks the same both directions. You can see how that's wrapping. If I did it like this, I'd be wrapping the wrong way. So I'm gonna go like that to make sure that I'm continuing to make it look like it's a braid. Same amount in the other direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So once I got a 4, now this is the hardest part of this knot. If you're a little older like I am, what you're gonna need is probably some reading glasses. But basically, right here, this part makes a little hole in all that wrap. And you wanna make sure that the second tag in goes through that hole the opposite direction of the way that it came out. Like that. So I'm threading it through that. Now what I would do is I would hold both of these. Oftentimes here I would use my teeth to hold both of them, but in this one I'm just going to use my fingers and pull. Ideally you would pull both sides of the tag of the stunning part of the line at the same time, but that is basically what a blood knot would look like. Ideally this little wrap here would not be over like that. It would be more like the one on the right side. That's what happens when you do it with really thick line, but that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have equal number of wraps on either side, and the 2 tag ends are coming out perpendicular to right angles to the standing part of the line. The other thing is, when you're done, you want to make sure you really cinch it tight. I'm not going to do that because I intend to unwrap this and reuse it for a different demonstration. But what you do is you would pull it really super tight, and then you trim this off, leaving a small tag in. Not very long, but if you don't pull this tight enough and you clip the tag ends flush with the knot, if a fish grabs it, the tag will pull through. Let me show you what I mean by that. So here's the tag, and here's this thing that's cinching it down. If it's not cinched all the way and there's any more give in it, as I'm pulling on this part of the line, this one right here, it's gonna actually draw up line from this side. Same thing over here. If I'm pulling on this right side of the line, it's gonna draw up line from here. Sort of see it as I go like that, and see what happens. The tag ends actually get shorter. So that's why you leave a long tag end. As you're pulling on this, you want the tag ends to be long, and you want it to be tight, and then you trim it, and you leave a little bit of tag. If you don't, it'll pull right back through. Sort of just like this. That will pull on this. It'll pull on all those wraps, and it'll pull this wrap right here out. It'll just come out, and the knot will feel like it broke, but it actually would just come undone. So you must leave yourself a little bit of a tag in. Some people leave a really long tag in, 1/8 inch. I don't like that because it'll hook weeds, it'll hook grass when I'm fishing. but I definitely leave about a 16th inch of a tag in. I don't know millimeters. I'll say 1 millimeter of a tag in. Anyway, so that is a traditional blood knot that is used for joining, for basically adding tippet. Lines of similar diameter are really good to be joined this way.